Let's do some mail, all right? Let's go to the mailbag.
I feel sorry for the people that live there.
Yeah. Looks a little like Oklahoma after a tornado. All right, from Nick Trem _17. On a scale from bad to absolute garbage, how poorly do you think the Buffs played last night?
Well, there was not any optimism. You don't come out of that game going, oh, this is a team that can compete.
No.
I'm now scared about UMass coming to town. Do you think Colorado could possibly beat Colorado State? Even with Colorado State with a new coach and a new quarterback and new running backs and everything, I don't think they'll beat Colorado State. So they could start the season very easily 0-3. I don't know who the other non-conference game is. Do you?
Nichols State.
1-3. They'll start the year. They'll go into the Pac-12. They're going to play 13 games. That's why they have to win 7. Because I once asked, they finished 6-7. And 6 qualify you,
right? But
6 and 7 does not qualify you. They won't, unlike the NFL, they won't put you in the bowl game if you're under 500.
Yeah,
I would go absolute garbage because there was nothing came out of that game that was positive.
Yeah, what worries me is they don't look better. They made the same mistakes. They just don't look better.
I told you.
And they're a better team than Hawaii. They had more talent than Hawaii and still lost that game. All right, question number 2. Do you believe Clayton Kershaw will reach 300 strikeouts? And if he does, will it be enough to get him his 4th Cy Young Award? He's got 251 strikeouts right now. He's leading the National League.
So how many more starts to get?
He's going to have 5 or 6 more starts.
That many?
Yeah. They have 29 games left, so he'll have either 5 or 6 more starts.
I think they'll be so far ahead of the San Francisco Giants that they'll kind of cut him back. You don't want to use him up just to get to 300.
Give him a little more rest.
Mike, do you believe that? Do you think he can get to 300?
Yeah, I do. By my calculations, at 11.6 strikeouts per game.
Yeah, that's right.
And 5 more starts.
That's not going to work.
He will finish with between 308 and 320.6 strikeouts.
Let's make our dollar bet that we do.
All right, I say he'll get him.
He's not going to get him.
Probably not. They're probably going to pair him. They'll pair him back a little bit.
Let's say that he does.
Yeah.
Or close. And he wins his 4th Cy Young. Is he better than Sandy Koufax?
No.
Really?
No. You know, Sandy didn't have a lot of great years. He had a very short career. He had 5 or 6 incredible years. Kershaw is right there. Kershaw is right there. He's on the cusp. But he's still a young man. He's got a lot of years.
That's the whole point.
And he will, not right now, but if he continues, he will be. He'll blow Koufax out of the water, would he?
What?
If he continues this.
Is it harder to pitch now than it was then?
I would say no. And I would say no because back then you had fewer teams and
better teams.
Better teams. You had lineups from 1 to 9 that were crazy good.
I will bow to you.
Yeah.
I really thought it was harder to pitch now, but you probably make a better point because Kershaw probably has 251?
251 strikeouts, yeah.
100 of those are against the Rockies.
Yeah, good point. All right, this one I'm leaning on you. Predict the winner of the Southern Miss versus Mississippi State game. Because as you like to say, it's the biggest game in Hattiesburg in 30 years.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
That's his mantra.
I would think.
Walks around the building saying that all the time. I've heard you say it 5 or 6 times now.
You know, I love Southern football, and I love Hattiesburg, and one of my good friends is from Hattiesburg. Do you know who that is? Yanni, from Yanni Johnstown.
Yeah.
He grew up in Hattiesburg. People
good
think
Greek
he's
food.
from an island off the Greek coast, but he is actually from Hattiesburg. Been to Hattiesburg. My dad's job took him to places like Hattiesburg in Mississippi. So I like Hattiesburg. It was a site of a great Civil War battle. I don't mean that in a positive way. It's a site of a great site now, location of it. Southern Miss doesn't get any credit from anybody, never. Southern Miss puts together, they get those guys from Southern Mississippi and Louisiana that the big schools don't get. They're kind of like a northern Colorado
kind of like
actually
CSU?
Is good. Well, but CSU's better was last year. Mississippi State's down. Mississippi State had the moments. The Bulldogs had their moments at the end of last year. They were close. Ole Miss and Mississippi State were in the top 10. But Mississippi State is still an SEC school. It's down the road. It's not Hawaii. It's not going to Minnesota like TCU did and struggled. Mississippi State wins this game by 20 points.
Why is it the biggest game in 30 years in Hattiesburg?
Mississippi State never goes to Hattiesburg.
Oh.
They don't play much.
Okay.
Those Mississippi, like CU didn't want to play CSU.
Yeah.
Those teams don't want to play Southern Miss because Southern Miss is a very good team.
Okay.
And you don't want to go to Hattiesburg. It's a smaller stadium. It's like going to Greeley. I mean,
Okay.
it's bigger than that, but it's like CU would never go to Greeley. CSU is going to play Northern Colorado, but they won't go to Greeley to play. They make them come to their place. So that's why it's the biggest game. It's probably the biggest game in Hattiesburg history. So.
One more piece of mail from _86. Will Emmanuel Sanders lead the Broncos in all three of these categories? Receptions, yards, and touchdowns. Let me go first on this. Yes, receptions. Yes, yards. No on touchdowns. C.J. Anderson's going to lead him in touchdowns.
I'm going to put a caveat. I'm going to put an asterisk like we had yesterday on the screen. If he's healthy and starts the season, if it's one of those things where he does it again, no. If he does, I think he's going to have a better year than Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, I do too. I don't like what I've seen from DT so far this year. Don't like it.
And I think that, see, Emmanuel is the think about this. As much as Demaryius Thomas means to the Broncos, and I saw the list the other day, he's considered one of the top 5 receivers in the league. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes.
Or would you? So considered top 5. Emmanuel is a big-time receiver in terms of yardage.
Yes.
Demaryius gets those little flares.
Bubble screens and crossing patterns.
And he's your target when you're at the 10-yard line.
But they send Emmanuel down the sideline to take the top off the defense.
That's why yards, maybe Demaryius gets more touchdowns because he's taller. He's going to be a target that replaces Julius Thomas.
Yes.
A tall target crossing in front of the goalpost. So that touchdowns may go to Demaryius. Yardage, and what was the third category?
Touchdowns.
Yards. Yeah, that's what it said. Demaryius touchdowns.
Receptions, yards, touchdowns.
Receptions, Demaryius. Yardage, Emmanuel.
And touchdowns?
Demaryius.
All right, I said C.J. Anderson. All right, that portion of the big stuff brought to you by Grand Prix Motorsports. Tell you more about them in just a minute.